Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the Vanguard. For Mohammed Shaker, I am Matt Wright, and today
Where's my
I know I didn't have a
nickname?
nickname today. I am sorry, I didn't have a nickname. I deeply, deeply apologize
Oh,
to
it's
you for
okay.
that. I would like to first start out by thanking the voice of the muddied waters of freedom, Mr. Greg Bowen.
I like Greg Bowen.
Yeah, because he also just rated us 5 out of 5 and said that we were cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Nice.
And he is absolutely 100% correct.
Thank you, Greg. I
Yeah.
totally appreciate that.
But let us thank Low Tide Kava Bar, and since it is Wednesday and not Saturday, we can thank Kim.
Kim, yes. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Kim, for the kava that I will be enjoying during the show because while Muhammad is acting slow, I blame it on the fact that he is fast. And
Yeah. Well, what are you doing there?
I am mixing up some kava in my new alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Is there a company local to us?
I don't want to say yes to that, but
Okay.
I'm going to say I believe so.
Okay.
They're from Tampa.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just you also have one.
So if anybody wants to join us with kava, this is what they look like. It holds 700 milliliters, so almost a full liter, and it comes with this ball. He gave me the pink one. I was okay with that because that means half the population won't be trying to steal it.
You understand that? No, just
What?
half the population isn't going to try to steal, but the other half will.
Yeah, but girls don't care about colors. Guys do. Who's gonna go for pink?
Sean.
It's okay. Here's the ball. It's got these this mesh, I guess, and you can buy this, I guess, from them. And well, of course you can.
You
And then you would have to figure out where to get kava from if you're from a location that doesn't have kava. And according to Matt, you fill it up to, I'm going to say about half of this ball. And
yeah, you fill it up about 80% or so.
yeah, 80% of the half of it, you mean, right?
Right. Well, yeah, 80% of the
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, so let's just say 2/3 of this, no, not 2/3, that's too much. Anyways, let's just say go with half of the ball. And then you can put about 650 milliliters of water, and I haven't used this before.
I used it. Okay, so I used that thing all. I went to New Orleans this past weekend
Yes, you did.
for Proby's bachelor party.
Yeah.
So Proby and all of my Nashville friends still drink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And other things, but they all still drink. So they were all getting drunk, and I don't drink anymore. So I brought my alu ball with me while I was there, and I feel like we're just doing like a infomercial right now for alu ball.
Uh-huh.
But so I brought my alu ball with me, and I just brought it through New Orleans, and anytime I wanted kava, I just like mixed it right there, went into a bar and asked for water.
Yeah, so there you go. And how long do you mix it for? I mean, you did say it was vigorous, like
Yeah, it's
work.
a vigorous shake, and if you do it for a minute, it'll be okay.
Okay.
I typically would like do it for a minute, let it sit for a little while, do it for another minute, let it sit for a while, and like it took like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes. But then I had delicious kava
There you go.
at the ready.
Yeah, and
It's
seems like a
fun.
good way to get your kava when you don't have any kava bars near you, and you don't want to go through the hassle of mixing your own kava with your hand.
Or you don't have the time to do that.
Or the time, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is a fantastic system, and we are greatly appreciative of that
Yeah.
guy.
Thank you, Alabal.
Yeah, thank you, Kavafied.
Kavafied.
Kavafied
Yeah.
is the company.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Kavafied.
Thank you, Kavafied, for our alu balls.
Yeah. Social media.
Oh, yeah. Just so everybody knows, you can follow us.
If you like the show,
even if you don't like the show,
yeah,
you can always follow us on Twitter at muddied_waters, on Instagram at muddied waters of freedom, or here on Facebook at Facebook.com/Muddied Waters of Freedom.
And of course, our website. Did you say that part already?
MuddiedWatersOfFreedom.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last week I reached out for people to consider themselves if they want to write for us. And we had a few people reach out to me, and they said they would be willing to write a few articles for us. So you guys should be seeing a little bit more traffic from our website article-wise, and thank you to anybody that's going to be contributing for us. We're going to be making accounts for those guys. I want to be picky on who ends up writing for us because I don't want to see anything crazy once.
Yet you let me write for us.
You're not crazy.
Okay. I try.
Yeah. My thing is, I don't want any. I really just don't want to see some crazy stuff that I don't want to be having attributed to us. Yeah, and also I want. I said I wanted consistent libertarians because I feel like a lot of libertarians really are not that consistent. And I think consistency is very important, no matter what kind of topic you're talking about. We had a few people reach out, and I'll be personally reaching out to a few more on my own to see if they'd be willing to write. And I'm not going to be fawning off of the other great hubs out there like Libertarian Republic, Being Libertarian, blah blah blah, that sort of stuff. So it'll be pretty fun to do this little adventure together and see where this could end up going.
No, absolutely. I think since we're going to be increasing the show by 100% a week.
Yep.
Meaning two whole episodes a week.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day more, but starting out two episodes a week. It'll be fun to see how this grows.
Yeah.
And also super exciting news for all of you out there in the world. We just got our proof on our very first sticker.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
We're going to be having Muddied Waters of Freedom stickers. And, yep, I mean, it looks exactly like what our logo looks like. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so
I like that.
That's what it's going to look like for all of you out there who can see us if you're listening on SoundCloud or iTunes or anything like that. It's our logo on most social media.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can't wait to put one of those on my car.
Yeah, same here, dude. Dang, I was going to say something else and I forgot. It's not your fault. So you had fun in your little trip?
I did. It's weird since I no longer drink or anything like that. I love those guys like they are my brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And they are the least annoying drunk people I know.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, they are the absolute least annoying. They like, you have the people who are very repetitive when they drink.
Yeah.
Like, there is a guy that I know who is from Nashville. He's not from Nashville, but I met him in Nashville. And his family lives in San Francisco. Now, I know that Spirit Airlines no longer runs from Nashville to San Francisco because he told me that 14 times one night. And on the 15th time, he thought I was psychic because I guessed everything he was about to say.
That's hilarious.
So they aren't like that. They do tell me the same story on Thursday that they did Friday, that they did Saturday.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, all at once.
Yeah.
So it was great hanging out with them. I miss every single one of them so much. They're fantastic dudes, and they're so funny and so stupid, and like stupid in a good way. Not like they're all smart, but I mean they're so dumb.
Yeah.
But it was just a blast and a half watching them go around New Orleans just getting obliterated. And then, like, at one point, and I'm going to try to do this face. I don't know if I can do this face. But Proby, the Bachelor,
Mm-hmm.
he got so drunk on Friday night that for 4 hours, his face looked like this.
Yeah.
He would smile.
He's making a really Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you listening, I'm sorry, but yeah, his facial expression did not change for 4 hours. I actually took a picture of it at one point and sent it to Jordan, and I said, Brody's face hasn't changed in 3 hours or something like that.
That's funny.
And he was like, I still want to go out. And I was like, no, man, you're going home. He's like, no, dude, I want to go. I want to go. I want to. And I was like, no, you're going home. Like, no. I promised people you would not die. That is what I'm here to do.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah, so it was definitely a good time. I had a blast.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah,
awesome.
and you know, luckily I can bring Kava with me everywhere, so
Yeah.
it just made it a lot easier.
Yeah.
for me.
I remember what I was gonna say and I forgot. The next episode, maybe we'll just make it next week. I wanted to take a break for one episode instead of doing just current events.
Oh, is this where you're going to give me homework?
Yes, giving homework. And you can just read the Total Books version.
Sweet, I've already read that version.
Yeah.
I'm good to go.
No, you're going to read them. I hope so. I wanted to discuss one of my favorite books, and it's Liberty Primer. If you are a libertarian that reads, you might have read this book. It's about 86 pages. It's been a while since I read it, but it's a great book. It's called The Law, and it's by Frederick Bastiat, the Tuttle twins, which writes children books for, liberty families to teach liberty to their children. Also has a book for the law, and the book is about society and how different groups of people will use law and legal violence basically to gain benefits and capital from other parts of society. And basically that's what everybody's trying to do right now. So we're gonna read this book, and we're going to try to get in depth with it. And if you want to read the book ahead of time, you can do that. Or you can just wait for us to talk about it on that episode next week. So maybe we can even do it on Wednesdays, since we're doing it on this Wednesday.
Okay. So next Wednesday. By next Wednesday, I need to have purchased and read.
No, I'll give it to you. I got copies.
Cool. Okay. So by next Wednesday, I have to read The Law by Bastiat.
Yeah, I'll come and drop it off tomorrow. So.
All right. Well, yeah. That'll give me a week to read 86 pages. It's gonna be cutting it close, but I think
it's not bad. You can sit down. Anyways.
I will do my best on that.
Yeah.
Good God, you are still so ingrained in the military.
Yeah.
My God.
I hate it.
We write the dates down on all of our show notes for those of you who don't know, and I always write, just June 17th, June 14th or whatever. And he wrote 14 June 17, just the way that they trained us in basic.
It's simple. It's easy. Speaking of politics, I've been watching a lot of Netflix recently. I don't know what it has to do with politics.
Well, House of Cards.
House of
I
Cards.
know where you're going.
Yeah. Great show. I'll watch it again when the next season comes out.
I disagreed with your status last night.
Which one?
Where you said, I don't know why they would make another season.
Well, have you watched it all?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, okay. The new one just came out. The new season 5. You watched that already? Okay, cool.
I pounded through that thing in like a day.
Okay, awesome.
That's how I watch all of them. It's like,
yeah. Well,
I turn the phone off. I order a pizza.
Yeah.
And I sit there with like just a crap ton of kava, a pizza,
Yeah.
and I just watch House of Cards for 10 hours or whatever it is. And only getting up to go to the bathroom, but since I rearranged the living room, I can watch the TV from the bathroom. So I don't even need to pause it.
Yeah, cool.
Like, it's just a constant. It's awesome.
Yeah,
yeah, I've definitely seen it.
I'll watch the next season, but the show is awesome, but there's just some stuff throughout the show, maybe once an episode, but maybe a few times a season. Some stuff to me just made no sense, and it just shouldn't happen. Not the cloak and dagger stuff. I mean, some of that would, in my opinion, just not happen the way you'd see it. Frank Underwood is too strong of a guy to be real, in my opinion, on that level. And that stems from like my criticisms of it, where it's like sometimes it seems like in the show the media doesn't matter, and then sometimes the media really does matter, and then the whole skeletons in the closets thing that everybody really has on everybody, especially Underwood on other people and other people on Underwood, and doing the whole favors thing where you do somebody a favor and they owe you a favor. It seems like Frank is able to use his leverage 100% with 100% efficiency more often than not compared to everybody else, and it's just like all these other people know about him and what he's done. All these people both owe and are owed favors to him, and I'm just like, it really shouldn't. At some points, it should not be that easy, and it just seems unrealistic to me that these people don't think about the power they do have over him, but they just get steamrolled by him.
See, but those people don't have good writers.
Oh, what do you mean? Like the show? What do you mean? You mean like Tom Yates, or do you mean the show writers?
The show writers.
Oh, well,
yeah, they don't care about.
Well, then that's a problem with the show.
Right.
See, now, but I'll still watch it. Like
I think. Okay, I love that show. I think that show is absolutely fantastic. That Frank Underwood is the coolest politician of all time, but he is also the dirtiest, most dirtbag, awful politician of all time. And I have loved that show from day one, and like he said in this season, I mean, hopefully there's no spoilers here. Everybody knows he becomes president at some point.
There might be spoilers here if you haven't seen the show. So
but the part where he goes,
turn the stream. No, don't turn the stream.
Don't turn the stream.
Come back in 5 minutes.
Yeah, don't even do that. Just deal with this. The part where he was like, all I wanted was Secretary of State. That's all I wanted.
Oh, yeah. Those, like, near the... Those, what, was that the last episode?
It wasn't the last one. It was like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But that's all he wanted. He just wanted Secretary of State. They screwed him, and then everything else happens. And I freaking loved it.
Well, the reason I hate it is because they end up hurting a lot of people that didn't mean any harm to the guy. And it just sucks. Like... Zoe Barnes, I think.
God, I miss her.
Yeah, and Rachel Parsons.
Yeah.
All these people, I'm just like, why every single time, and it kind of hurt me. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so I'm not gonna say this one out loud because it is a spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen the most recent season. But Frank did something in this most recent season that made me so mad at him.
Oh, which one?
Where he sold out that guy.
I don't know who you're talking about. So
yeah, I can't spoil it for everybody. So
what was the situation? How did?
Frank was going to get in trouble for something, and he threw somebody else under the bus for it.
Oh yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
now, exactly.
And I was like, you can't do that to him.
I know,
I was mad about that. I was like, that was when I posted on Facebook. I was like, Frank Underwood, you are a human piece of garbage.
Yeah.
And then Heather Woods commented, but Claire. And then I finished watching the season, and I was like, oh yeah, you're right, but Claire.
Yeah. But season 5's out now. I do suggest you watch the show and make up your own opinion of it. And they're going to season 6, so that's fun.
I think they're signed on for 7.
That's cool. I mean, I do want to see how it's going to end. I'm pretty intrigued.
Yeah.
But I was kind of tired of him winning as of season 2. I was like, seriously? Like, wow.
Some people just don't lose.
Yeah, we'll see.
Some people do not lose.
No, seems like it.
Yeah. So
it was really weird having 2 veterans running for office. But it is what it is.
You mean on the same ticket?
Yeah. You had the general and whatever the hell his rank was.
General
major.
He was governor or senator?
Well, he's governor, but he's also a major in the Air Force.
Right, but he's governor.
Yeah.
He's the governor and the general were running.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
He got so screwed.
Yeah. I even think Petrov was too much of a pushover, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I'm certain that's coming back around. Anyway, yeah, let's not go too deep. I could talk about House of Cards with you all day long.
Yeah. Speaking of a House of Cards event, the Democratic, never.
Yeah, so as I'm certain anybody who is watching us or listening to us know, that earlier today, a gunman went to where the Congressional Republican baseball team was practicing.
Yeah.
And opened fire, injuring 3, 4?
No, 5.
5.
Yeah.
Was...
He got into a shootout with the Capitol Police and was killed.
Yes, he was. So our hearts go out to every single person that was involved in that.
Yeah. Today. Some people we know well, if you're listening and you know these people. Everybody knows Rand Paul. We've both talked about him before. Rand was there. Rand heard it all, and so was a congressman from Florida, Ron DeSantis. He's a great Liberty guy. Somebody I was hoping would take over as senator for Florida. When Marco Rubio wasn't supposed to run, and then he did anyways.
Little baby Rubio?
Yeah, but it's still good to have Ron DeSantis around. Anyways, he was there. He ran into the shooter, whose name is James Hodgkinson. And he asked them what sort of people, he said, are they Democrats or Republicans practicing out there on that field right now? And they made nothing of it, although they said they found it kind of weird. And they thought, Republicans.
It was a weird question, but whatever.
Yeah. So the guy went out there and shot some stuff. They hit Majority Whip Scalise. I don't remember his first name. Not Scalia, the justice that is not with us any longer. Because it kind of threw me off for a second when I read Scalise. I was like, did they mispronounce that and confuse the person? Or
No, but...
Yeah. He's in critical condition right now. I guess they thought he was fine. He's still in critical condition.
Oh, is he? Yeah. Steve Scalise.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I knew he was shot in the hip, and I thought that he was okay, but...
The thing about the hip, for a lot of people that don't know this because I was a medic, your thighs and hips can hold about 2 to 3, depending on the person, 2 to 3 whole liters of blood. Which is actually a shit ton of blood. So maybe that's why. Maybe he's going into shock, and they're still trying to treat him with that and infusing him with a lot of blood. I don't know. I was in there, not at the hospital. But that's what happened. And once people figured out the identity, they found out it was a self-described democratic socialist who is a huge fan of Bernie Sanders. And this guy seems to be a part of a lot of different anti-GOP groups on Facebook. One of them is called Terminate the Republican Party. I checked out the group, actually, when I saw that.
I am actually going to have to interrupt you here.
No, you're good.
Because I don't care what groups this guy was involved in on Facebook. Not everybody who is a Bernie Sanders fan, obviously.
No, of course not. No. I was going to go into that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this guy was... Yeah, he's dead, right?
He's dead. He died. The Capitol Police killed him.
I can say was. This guy was an asshole. Like, he was an asshole.
Yeah.
He was an asshole. He was a prick. All he wanted to do was cause violence upon people because he disagreed with them politically.
Yeah.
He didn't like their ideas.
And he did say he wants to kill as many members of the Republican Party as possible.
Right.
That's me, for example.
But, whatever groups he's in on Facebook, like the fact that he's a Bernie supporter doesn't really make all that much of a difference in my mind.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I'm one of the last people that would actually advocate that sort of ideology because, and we'll get into this later, as a Muslim, even former Muslims, former Muslim, anybody that looks like a Muslim, it's just like, well, these...
Who looks like a Muslim?
I don't know, ask freaking Billy Bob from West Virginia. Um, I mean, I 100% not only talk about my beliefs in individualism, but I apply that to my day-to-day life. So I don't like being thrown under the bus or associated with Islamic terrorists. And as such, I also don't look at, you know, democratic socialists or Bernie supporters as one big monolith that all believe in and would do the same thing that this guy did. Or else a lot of us would be dead by now. There's a lot of Bernie supporters out there. With guns too, you know? Like believing in guns or being anti-guns doesn't mean you're not going to have a gun or have a gun. I mean, I believe in guns, yet I am not armed right now. And there's a lot of Democrats that have guns. So no, it doesn't speak about it. And kudos on Bernie Sanders for coming out and saying that he's against this kind of violence. Well, whatever you may think of it, it might dissuade anybody that would be radicalized to go out and kill Republicans because they like him, and he said that was not a good thing to do. In my opinion, anyways.
Right.
So now we just wait and see what the fallout of this thing is. I mean, it's finished now. I don't think anything else is going to happen. So, I mean, that congressman is going to survive, Steve.
Yeah.
Kelly's. He's going to survive.
Yeah,
I know I'm not looking at him right now, you know, and I hate giving medical advice or trying to treat something without looking at it, but you know, I'm sure he's going to be fine. Just from my own knowledge of, you're not in Iraq or in Afghanistan. You're in you're in DC, and they were out there. It was possible for medics to come out and treat him and move him as fast as possible. He's already in the hospital and alive. He's gonna survive. It just takes time.
Yep.
So yeah. Anything else worthy of note on this topic?
No, I
can't think of any myself.
I mean, there are people from all groups that are assholes.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's don't blame the group, don't blame Democrats, don't blame Bernie supporters, don't blame whatever. It's just this guy was a prick.
Exactly. I hang out with
probably crazy.
I hang out with a lot of Bernie supporters. None of them have ever revealed these kind of intentions, and I've known some of them for a while. So I would not blame all of them. I wouldn't even blame the ideology of violent revolution by the workers that socialism is all about. So, I mean, we can even make our segue into the terrorist attacks that happened and why. I would believe that if you want.
Sure. I'm not going to lie. I was trying to catch up on sleep for a few days, so I don't know anything about this.
That's fine.
I know they happened, but I don't know anything else about it.
They happened. You had the Ariana Grande, or that's how you say her name, thing that happened, which we talked about.
Got it.
And then you had 2 different days where, you know, terrorists got into trucks, ran into people, so on and so forth. People died, which is a very horrible thing. But less so on the attacks and more so on some of the stuff I've been seeing on Facebook, especially from some of my friends. You know, I've seen a lot of people try to paint this as it's a Muslim thing, and I'm still going to go back to say no, it's not. I agree that Islamic terrorism is a problem. I enlisted in 2007 when we were in the middle of the global war on terror. Got my National Defense Service Medal because of that. So I knew it was a problem, and I wanted to do something about it. A lot of Muslims today are fighting Islamic terrorists all over the Middle East. So no, it's not an Islamic. Well, I'm sorry, it's not most Muslims. There might, you know, there could be terrorists that, I mean, I can see it. Terrorists could be, radicalized by parts of the Islamic literature. But the weird thing about the Quran is, if you ever actually read the Quran and not go on answering Islam or thereligionofpeace.com, which are horrible sources to learn about Islam. If you read the Quran, there's like this weird duopoly thing with like the Prophet and some of the verses in there, where there are plenty of verses that talk about peace, and plenty of them that also talk about like war. And then you have the word jihad, which really means there's two types of jihad. There's the greater jihad and the lesser jihad. I'm sure you know where this is going. The greater jihad is the struggle within yourself and being a good person in your community, your family, to your faith, to God, whatever. And the lesser jihad is the one that's like the struggle to fight in defense of Islam or your Muslim brothers. My issue is, you know, a lot of my friends in the liberty community have that are, I don't know what to say about them. I mean, obviously I like them. We're still friends. I don't delete anybody over this stuff. I don't block anybody over this stuff. But there's a silly, I don't. But
you definitely block people.
No, I can show you later. I got 5 people on my block list. Only 3 of them are, definitely only 3 of them maybe politically related. I only remember 1 of them. 2 of them are not. And the one I do remember is politically related. He's an asshole, libertarian of all things, that keeps calling me a Trump supporter. He keeps calling me a fake, what do you call me? A fake Muslim because I served in the army, a fake Muslim because I'm a Republican, all this other stuff. No. So
that sounds like stuff Saxer would say to you.
Yeah. So you know, my block list is short, but I keep saying
I have 2 people. I think I've got 1, 2, 3 people blocked, and none of them are political.
Yeah. So
it's and none of them have done anything on Facebook to me. I just don't.
Yeah.
See them.
Yeah. No, I understand.
I don't even think I'm friends with 2 of them, but I'm just like, I don't even want to be tagged in the same things as them. So
I get it. I'm
just blocking you.
Yeah, and that's a legit way of doing it. But I've seen a lot of posts saying, this is the religion of peace. This and the good Muslims are the ones acting with violent, radical means, and they're walking, so. In the steps of Muhammad, So I was thinking, if you take the most extreme interpretation of the Prophet that comes from people who believe in this stuff, that he's a warmonger, rapist, child molester, you take the most extreme version of the Prophet Muhammad, and if you look at the Islamic community as a whole, no, I mean, that's absolutely false. No, the majority of Muslims are not warmongering child predators, And now you apply that logic to any group out there. In this case, I'm going to go with Christianity, because that's where I get a lot of this stuff. Yes, my Jewish friends surprisingly aren't assholes about it. It's really weird. Kudos to you guys. You take the most extreme good interpretation of Jesus from their perspective, obviously. Jesus made peace with people he disagreed with. He wasn't an asshole to anybody. He even loved the Romans, so on and so forth. If you guys know the story of Jesus, you can read more about him in the Bible or whatever. Huh?
Who's that?
What do you mean?
Jesus,
yes.
I got nothing.
Jesus Christ.
I say that.
Yeah. But you take the most awesome version of Jesus, You cannot look at me in the face and tell me that most Christian men act in, they don't walk in the steps of Jesus or act like him at all. No. Most Christian men are just as... what's the word I'm looking for? Imperfect. Are just as imperfect as every other man or woman on earth. I know a lot of Christians, and I'm sorry, I don't know anybody that comes close to being to whatever the best interpretation of Jesus is. So it's silly to go for something like that, to try to say that, Muslims this, Christians are this. It's stupid. It makes no sense. And then people try to give Islam a monopoly on violence. And I'm like, you can't do that. Like, the religion is a tool when it comes to a lot of radical Islamists that go out and do this stuff. It's a tool. It is. And that's the problem. You know, they end up using our text and religion as a way to pervert and justify whatever they're going to be doing. And that's wrong. I don't want to go into how to fix it. I don't know yet. That could be a whole other conversation. But it's a tool. And for a part of history, it was used as a tool just as much by Christian people against other Christians, against pagans, so on and so forth. I don't put myself down on the level where I'm now going to start saying, well, oh, look at what the Christians did, blah, 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 blah. Because a lot of people try to, you know, they still take this.
Yeah, that argument, in my opinion, is, but look at what the Christians did. You know, okay, that was like 500 years. Like,
well, exactly, and that's what right. I was going to say. Like,
yeah, and it's just
you say the Christians did it all the way back then, and then you want to still hold the Prophet Muhammad to what Muslims are today makes no sense.
Right.
And I do think all of history should count. Personally, we should always know our history.
We absolutely should know our history, but to say, oh well, it's okay that radical Islam is doing this because Christians did this 500, you know, whatever.
Exactly.
That's not an argument.
None of it is okay. But what people are making is like, because Islam is used as a tool, then that's bad, so Islam is the problem. Well, Christians did it too, but not anymore. And in the last 200 years, Christianity wasn't even a thing used by Christians at all. Like, it wasn't even in the equation. That all ended with the 30 Years War, the religious leagues between the Catholic nations and the Protestant nations in Europe that killed a quarter of the European population. And after that war, really, religion, or the idea of crusading and using religions, especially Catholicism, as a need to go to war and convert heathens, yeah, because heretics would be non-Christians. Heathens would be Christians, not of the proper interpretation. But all of that happened. Christianity was used as a tool, but not anymore. My issue is, why do you ignore every other tool that is used? You know, the state is one of the biggest perpetrators of violence. And over the last 200 years, used by Western Christian nations. And here's the point where I was going to go. You know, they say Islam as an ideology, drives violence, you know, with young Muslim men to go blow themselves up and kill people. So you're saying Islam is radicalizing on like a very extreme level to be able to do that. Well, if Islam's able to do that, then why does Christianity, in my opinion, it's just a question, why does Christianity not stop Christian people from doing the things they have done when it wasn't Christianity being used as a tool? So when many countries in Europe would go colonizing, killing people, enslaving, so on and so forth, why did Christianity not stop Christian nations and individuals from acting in these many unchristian ways? It's not because Christianity is bad or doesn't have enough good in it. It's because man is going to use whatever tool they need to justify whatever it is they're doing, and they might use religion to justify it or not. So you can't tell me that Islam is able to have this hold on Muslim men and Christianity isn't able to also, in a sense, stop Christians from doing the same thing. That's my 2 cents on it. So
I think that was more like 5 cents.
5 cents. It's just something that I've been thinking about for the last week.
You definitely went over the 2 cents.
Oh, my bad. But that's my issue with it. And now you have the Act for America Sharia thing. Did you hear about that?
I did hear about that. I heard about the marches going on in San Bernardino and a couple other places.
Yeah.
To make sure that Sharia law would never come to America. And I saw that and I said, it can't. We have a constitution.
Yeah. And some of my friends tried telling me the Constitution is already trampled upon. That's too alarmist.
I was gonna say, I'll give you that. A lot of things happen where the Constitution is trampled on, but that does not mean that all of a sudden we're going to just adopt Sharia law.
It's impossible. There are not enough, and there are actually not enough Muslims in America to push for that sort of amending to the Constitution for it to happen. Because how it works now, and Judge Andrew Napolitano talked about this on Fox News about how Sharia law works in Texas, and everyone, that was the headline. And it's arbitration. Him and I would go to an Islamic Sharia court to arbitrate a matter, some kind of matter with us in accordance with Sharia. And this agreement that we end up coming to, because of the arbitration, can be held as a legal document to be enforced by the state courts. That's how it works. It's legit. We signed on. They can and they will enforce it because we signed on to it. Because of that, the backwarded parts of the Quran, and the Sharia and the stuff that wouldn't work in a liberal society would be impossible to work in through arbitration. Okay, so somebody, he slept with my wife, now he gets stoned, and her. And that would not work. They wouldn't be able to enforce that kind of thing. Yeah, they were stoned. It's all silly, and I think it's because people
you're not going to be able to pull off those levels of punishment without.
No, it's impossible. No court would uphold that.
No, not even a little bit. It's not like.
And then
let's just change everything. If you sleep with it, if okay, I'm gonna have to admit my ignorance here. Is that where if you steal something, you get your hand cut off?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just wanted to make sure before I made that, and you're like, man, you were so racist.
No.
So yeah, it's not like, oh well, he stole a CD. Wait, who uses CDs? Let me come up with a different, much more relevant.
Well, it doesn't matter really.
He stole beer from the store. Take his hand.
Yeah.
Like no court in America ever is going to be like, yeah, you know what? That sounds about right.
Yep, you signed on to it. No, that's not how that works.
Right.
It can't supersede the Constitution. And the sixth, I hope I'm not wrong on this, the Sixth Amendment, I think, is the one that talks about cruel and unusual punishments. I'm probably wrong. Might be the seventh. I don't know anymore. I know my amendments. I just forget them every now and then. Where was I going to go with this? All of this.
I am not sure.
Oh, it's silly. At the end of the day, it's silly. I'm a Muslim, fine, whatever. But it really seems to be a battle between two people on whose imaginary friend is right, And it's like, why don't I believe in Islam, you believe in Christianity, and we just walk away from that and we try to look at helping the good Muslims try to, whether it's reform or whatever they have to do to stamp out radicalism that has taken our community in a very serious manner that doesn't seem to be slowing down any soon, but needs to be answered. Why don't we work on that rather than try to blame, the Prophet and the bullshit of Islam? I mean, you're not going anywhere with that. So why don't you just help the good Muslims that are trying to do it? There's Majid Nawaz, one of the big ones. You can talk to Will Coley. He wouldn't agree with Majid, but there are ways and things we need to do to answer what's going on with Islamic terrorism. Trying to throw all of us under the same bus ain't going to do anything.
Aren't we supposed to have Will Coley on here?
Yes, we are. Soon.
Does he know that?
Yeah.
Okay.
He does.
I just want to make sure I just didn't announce that to him.
Actually, we should have him on soon because there's a really big libertarian festival that happens every year called Pork Fest. And it seems to always fall along with Ramadan. So every time he goes, he holds like a big Ramadan breakfast at Pork Fest and feeds as many people as he can there. It's pretty cool. We should have him on with all this Islam stuff going on recently. And he can talk to us about Pork Fest, what he's doing there, and, whatever. So he can be our next guest if you want.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'm totally down to have him on. I think he's a good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, on the older thing. Oh, yeah. Do you just want to cut this one? Because, I mean, everybody's talked about that one to death.
Sure.
Okay. So.
We're not talking about Comey. Everyone's talking about
Yeah,
Comey.
everybody's talking about Comey. What we found out from Comey. He wasn't investigating Trump. Trump didn't tell him to stop the investigation, and Loretta Lynch probably needs to be investigated.
Pretty much.
That was Comey in a very small nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what Matt Aff says.
Plus the extra thing of the media.
Oh, and he was the leaks.
Who?
Comey.
Oh, Comey. Yes,
Yeah.
he was. Yes,
and Comey was the leaks. I mean, that was Comey in a nutshell. Like nothing else from that.
Yeah.
Really came out. I'm afraid of Donald Trump. That was why I leaked things.
Yeah.
We weren't investigating him. Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton probably did something illegal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that was basically what he said.
And just remember in the back of your head, the media, how they treat this whole Comey Russian stuff versus everything that's happened during the Obama administration, like the Fast and Furious scandal, Eric Holder being held in contempt in Congress, the IRS scandal when they were targeting specifically conservative groups, so on and so forth. Why is this one being met with more scrutiny than the Obama stuff? Not saying a legitimate problem should not be confronted, because I don't believe in, well, they did something wrong. No, I believe in anything that's going on wrong needs to be investigated, but just notice the media differences there of how one administration and scandal is getting it a lot more than what's happened over the last 8 years. So
Right. But Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico voted overwhelmingly to become the 51st state of America.
Yeah.
I think something just dripped on my head, which is weird. Because
it's been raining for a whole week.
Yeah,
it's been raining since
nonstop.
Trump pulled us out of the Paris Agreement.
Right, yeah.
I shit you not.
Yeah, I mean, that's accurate. So yeah, Puerto Rico voted overwhelmingly to become the 51st state of America. That's not going to happen.
Nope.
I mean, there's no way Congress is going to approve that. But let's talk about that and just all of it. Right now, Puerto Rico is how much in debt? Do you know?
I don't know.
I believe it's $20 billion.
Okay.
I believe. Yeah. I believe it's $20 billion that we would just have to say, okay, yeah, we'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
Of the 3.7 million people that live on that island.
It might be 200 billion, right? Or is that too much?
See, I think that's too much.
Okay.
Maybe it's 80 billion. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
It's a large number.
There's a lot of billions involved here. There are multiple billions involved here. There's 3.7 million people that live on that island. Of those 3.7 million, 1.07 million of them are employed.
Okay, yeah.
So that means 2.77 are not.
Yeah.
Which the United States would then have to pick up all of the funds to help with that.
We're talking welfare?
Well, that's what.
Okay, welfare programs? Yeah. Okay.
Not unless we suddenly come up with a UBI, but
yeah,
I don't think that's
Which is bullshit.
I thought you were a fan of the UBI.
No, I mean, no. Because universal basic income is get rid of all the social, well, I think, from what I've read, it's get rid of all the welfare programs and give everybody a paycheck. I'm not a fan of that. I'm a fan of giving those welfare checks to the people that need it, not everybody. I don't think I should be in on the UBI. I can support myself. I don't think you should be on UBI. You can support yourself.
I'd rather you just not take my taxes and not give me a UBI.
Exactly. But I do think that's where the U falls off, because it wouldn't be universal.
Right.
So I think there should be a basic income replacing welfare to the people that need it.
Gotcha. Okay.
If you get rid of the get rid of the welfare programs, and then give a basic income to those that need it, below the poverty line, whatever. But I don't think everybody should be entitled to a UBI. That's bullshit.
Gotcha.
We're handling ourselves fine. Don't be lazy.
Everybody's entitled to a UTI, though.
Yeah. Not me, though. Not me. No thanks.
I mean, I don't want one.
I'll run away.
I'm entitled to it.
Nope. I'll take a shot.
I'll drink cranberry juice. It'll
Yeah,
be fun.
it'll be fine.
It'll be
Piss
okay.
it out.
It'll just go away. So if we do decide to accept Puerto Rico as our 51st state, one, we're gonna have to redesign the flag. And come on,
Yeah,
our flag's pretty iconic.
yeah. And somebody was making the point of going down to a square root of 7, 49 stars, kick out California, and we wouldn't have the silly design that we have now. And then there could be 7 and 7. Yeah, Cali.
Okay.
All right, cool. We're on board with that.
Yeah.
Well, they want to get out anyway, so.
Right. I was gonna say, if Kelly wants to go, let Kelly go.
Yeah, even though we're kind of on topic, but Washington
Wants to split.
Yeah, and I love the name of the eastern part of Washington. calling
Liberty,
themselves
right?
Liberty. I'd move
Liberty.
there right now.
I would. I don't like the cold and I don't like the rain, but I would move to Liberty
I would too.
today just to say I live in Liberty, United States.
Yeah, man, stay here. But silly arguments I've seen about the whole Puerto Rico thing. It's a really silly argument, and I say this as a Republican, even though I'm an ANCAP. But still, you got to know where we're at, what we're talking about. But I've seen the silly argument of people really focusing on the whole. It's a more blue. It would be more of a blue state. So they'd be getting their however many congressmen and 2 senators. They'll be all Democrats, and I think that alone is not a good argument at all. Technically, they do have the right to vote themselves in. They have that. And for us to say yes or no on it. But silly argument. No, it's best to talk about why it's best for them to not go through with this. I think they should just say no and completely separate themselves from the United States. They could be a strong nation by themselves without indebting themselves and chaining themselves to the federal government. I'm not a fan of that because I'm a fan of secession. So why go the opposite step and become a state?
If you want to succeed, secede.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to succeed, secede.
Yeah.
I stole
that. Nice.
From Eric July.
Nice.
So thank you, Eric July, for posting that on Facebook because I thought that was absolutely goddamn hilarious.
Yeah. Obviously, like I said, my opinions aside, you Puerto Rican people are free to do whatever they want, but don't become a state. It's not going to be good for you. It's actually best to not even be a territory. Just be your own country. Don't chain yourself to this country.
So they built up however much in debt.
Yes. And I think part of that is because they're a territory and whatever economic laws, import laws are associated with that. They got to pay different import fees from into the United States and into their lands. Things are more expensive, blah, blah, blah. But yeah.
Right. I honestly couldn't tell you anything that comes from Puerto Rico.
Yeah. No, I don't know, but they have something, Everybody's got
except for Puerto Rico.
Except for Puerto Rico. Great soldiers.
I know Puerto Ricans
I've known a lot
come
of them
from
in the
Puerto
army.
Rico. Other than that, I can't name a single thing.
Yeah.
I believe rum might come from I think there's a Puerto Rican rum.
Maybe.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea what comes from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I don't know. They have something. Trade deficits aren't as serious as people say they are. But if they remove themselves from the United States sphere of influence, they can choose their own way without having to worry about what this country does in the world, which in my opinion is a goddamn good thing. So.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know what you guys think of it, but yeah.
Somebody said
What's up?
Somebody said Zoe Saldana, or however you say that.
I don't know who that is. Oh, that's Brian.
Yeah, was that Brian?
Yeah.
She is in...
You keep doing the Frank Underwood thing, stop.
Sorry. I watched a lot of House of Cards.
Yeah.
She was in Avatar and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
She's the blue girl or the green girl.
Yes.
I remember her. That was funny.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian, for that, because that made me laugh.
Yeah. Oh man.
Uh,
But
so, yeah, Puerto Rico won't become a state, even though they voted for it,
yeah, and that's really because Republicans are
in charge.
in charge, you
Right.
know. And in this instance, I'm okay with that for the good of the Puerto Ricans.
For the good of the Puerto Ricans,
But-
I am 100% okay.
Yeah. Go the next step, secede yourself. Don't deal with our taxes. Figure out your own taxes. Don't deal with our wars. Don't deal with any of the stupid stuff that comes from the federal government. Build your own country without us. You will be absolutely fine, I promise.
Make sure that you
Probably
get a free
better
trade
off
deal.
than us.
Yeah.
If you don't have a bunch of socialists ruining your country, which I don't know if that's the case, because a lot of Puerto Ricans are very Catholic and conservative enough, anyways. So
Yeah.
no, don't go the Venezuela route
No, God, no, don't go to Venezuela route. I mean,
or to Cuba. They're pretty close too.
Venezuela's like what?
Look to Chile as a great example. So, so there you go. Beautiful country.
Yeah, Chile, as you say.
I think that's how you say it.
It is a beautiful, beautiful country.
Yeah.
I call it Chile,
Yeah.
like every other red-blooded American. Just like every other red-blooded American who goes to Olive Garden and gets the pasta fagioli.
I have no idea.
It's the pasta fagioli. No? Okay.
No.
All right. You need to eat more Italian.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else? I mean, we kind of covered everything.
Yeah, and thankfully within a very great time.
I know. We're going to be under time today. This is going to be unbelievable.
Well, it's also good to start being within time since we're doing 2 shows now, so we can cover more stuff this Saturday.
We have fantastic news coming for you all soon. We promise. I know we kind of teased something last week, but it is really great news. And
What, are you spelling it right now?
what? No,
Oh, I was gonna say I don't think you said we can.
no. I'm just saying. I'm teasing it.
Oh, yeah, because I'm sure not everybody saw our posts.
Right. Because I'm not friends with everybody, and I just posted. I didn't post it on the Muddied.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have great news coming. For those of you who have already seen our posts on it, don't worry. We're gonna be saying it soon, but we can't yet. But just trust us when we say it's awesome. We will be having stickers delivered to us. I just got the email in 8 days. So we will be selling those.
We should give them out also to people we know have been listening to us this whole time.
Sure. If you can prove to us that you've been listening this whole time,
Yeah.
I'll just give you a sticker.
Yeah.
But you have to come pick it up.
Yeah.
Brian Wolf.
Right.
Brian and Becca, you're going to have to come pick your sticker up because I already know you stuff. So yeah, we've got great news coming for y'all.
We can actually tease it a little bit more. Like we're basically going to be syndicated with a bigger.
We got picked up for syndication with a bigger group.
Yeah, with a pretty big group, and they're pretty awesome. They had tried getting me on board last year, and I blew them off because I'm an asshole. And now they reached out again to us.
He definitely is.
Yeah. So it's going to be awesome. We're going to have a lot more viewers and a lot more listeners, and that's a pretty good thing for us. We're still going to be the Muddy Waters of Freedom. There's absolutely nothing changing about our platform and how we do things. We're just going to be basically broadcasting from a much bigger page than our own.
Yeah. There's just going to be a logo like right here-ish.
Yeah, which is absolutely fine.
Right.
So that's it for me, man.
That's it. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Please like, please share, please tell your friends, tell your wives, tell your kids. Do whatever you can to let people know more about us because we love you so much. And thank you for constantly watching and listening.
Yeah, thank you. And sorry for never being able to keep up with the comments because there are people listening to us that are not watching the live show.
And they have no idea what those comments say, so they cannot keep up with it.
Yeah, but maybe in the future I'll figure out a way to incorporate those. But I do try to respond to a lot of these comments after the show's done. So don't worry, I'll get back to everybody on these as soon as I can. I do like reading the commentary. They make me laugh throughout the show.
Christopher Franklin,
Alderson.
Alderson. I know that we just said we don't comment on comments, but in my book, Dear Jack, Diary of an Addict, one of the main characters' name is Chris Franklin. So, nice job. Well, actually, congratulate your parents on that. So, you should probably buy that book. You can get it on Amazon.
Oh,
that's called a plug.
Yes, it is. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us today. And remember that where we're going,
we don't need roads.
You can kill the live. Did you jump the?
No, I thought that I was gonna be playing closing, but it just started voice intro from there.